Om Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejas Vina Padhi Tamastu Ma Vidvishvavahe Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. I hope you liked my little attempt at saying the Shanti mantra. So the Shanti mantra translates to may God protect us, may God nourish us, may we acquire the capacity to study and understand the scriptures. May our studies be thorough and faithful so that we may become brilliant. May we never quarrel or hate each other. Om, peace, peace, peace. So that's what I just said in Sanskrit, although maybe a little slower than I wanted to, but it's better than not at all, right? So working on ourselves is something I wanted to talk about here a little bit. So that's what I usually want to talk about whenever I make a video in one way or another in regard to yoga. So I would like to talk to you about a study in yoga, a practice known as Svadyaya. Svadyaya is study of holy scriptures, or it doesn't have to be that. It could also be study of yourself. So I think that it's very important for our self-development as yogis and as human beings in a whole range of situations in life to do self-practice, self-study rather, svadhyaya, and see really what you're doing and why you're doing it. So for me, my Svadyaya practices lately have been to check on my words. So what am I saying habitually that I don't need to be saying? Is every other word that I say fucking? Or do I say like a lot? Sometimes. Sometimes for both of those instances. I have a terrible habit of saying like too much and just filling the air with unnecessary gibberish. One of my other nemesis words that I'm working on calling out is the word crazy, which is ironic because I tend to talk about things that are a little bit unusual. I talk about esoteric things and things that sometimes people aren't necessarily comfortable with. And so when I talk about things like this to certain people, occasionally that's one of the words that I will hear from them. Oh, that's crazy. And so perhaps I've picked up this habit as a way to maybe make the word not so powerful anymore and just kind of just abuse the word and throw it all over the place and use it to the point where I am nauseated with it. Have you ever noticed that about yourself? Any habits or things that you're doing or saying that just really tend to kind of not make things go the way you want them to, or you're just simply, you don't want to keep saying whatever it is you keep doing. You know it's not natural for you to continually um, go to one word whenever you're feeling anxious or excited or nervous or any of that. So that's one thing to think about if you are doing things like that. And that's definitely one of my problems too. I've got a little anxiety, and I don't know very many people who are completely free of anxiety. And yeah, so there's that. So self-study, the Svadyaya, doesn't necessarily have to be about your words. It could be about your movement. It could be stuttering, which is a very difficult one. Once again, that's speech though. So, for instance, right now what I'm doing, fidgeting a little bit, scratching, things like that. Is it necessary? Not as necessary as you might think it is. So you can really go in many, many different directions with Svadyaya. You don't necessarily want to literally look in a mirror when you practice Svadyaya. You want to be looking inward, looking at what the being that is known as you is doing. So another example of what you could be doing with your Svadyaya practice is if you are in fact practicing yoga in a yoga studio, you could be observing your inner dialogue, the words that you are thinking to yourself. Are you thinking constructively or not so very much? It's very important to think constructively when you are practicing a demanding asana class. So when you're going through your asanas or your postures or even just a flow, a vinyasa flow, just observe what your thoughts are, what's running through your mind. Are you thinking about what you're doing? Are you thinking about what you want to eat for lunch or dinner? Or are you telling yourself, I'm too weak for this. I can't do this. This isn't good for me. I don't like that. You know, these things are just not going to help you. You might as well just roll your mat up and walk out. Well, not that I want you to do that in my class, but it's really nice to just see what you're saying to yourself and then see if you can do something right then and there, on the spot, to see what you can do to change, to replace the words or the habits, whatever it is that you're doing or saying, with something else. So perhaps instead of saying, I'm too weak for this, you can say, I'm working on this. Try whatever it is that the teacher's having everybody do, and take a break. If you have a chance to try it again, maybe try to squeeze in one more try, and then just keep telling yourself, I will eventually be able to do this, and it will happen. I hope that this has been helpful, and I hope that you find other words to replace with the words that you are saying over and over again. Try to mix it up, and remember, your choices are endless. Namaste.